Good morning. Welcome to Monday Morning Coffee with Melissa. I'm your host, Melissa. Cheers. As you can see this morning, I don't have coffee. I've already had 3 cups of coffee this morning, and I've been really working on just limiting myself to 3 cups a day. Otherwise, the main reason is I'm not so much worried about the caffeine because when I drink coffee in the morning with my husband, we make decaf because that's what he prefers. So I really only have 2 cups of calf. It's the dehydration. I feel so much more dehydrated after the 4th cup of coffee. And I drink a lot of water in the morning. I drink a glass when I wake up, and I drink probably about 2 or 3 while I'm having my other cups of coffee and while I'm just getting myself together in the morning, doing a workout. If I'm sprinting, if it's hot outside, I'll obviously drink a lot more while I'm working out, but I usually am pretty good at staying hydrated. But I've noticed that after that 4th cup of coffee, it's just, it's very difficult for my body to rehydrate, even with more water, more electrolytes. So anyways, so that's why this morning I had some organic black tea. And also I kind of like switching it up a little bit. Sometimes in the afternoon when I want like a hot beverage, I'll, make some herbal tea, or sometimes I will have like black tea, some caffeinated tea, but not very often. So this morning is Monday morning tea with me. So, okay, moving on to the topic. I want to talk about priorities with the COVID-19 happening, quarantine, everything that's going on with the racial injustice, the protests. I really feel like, so when the quarantine started, when the pandemic started, we were like, okay, we got to reprioritize, like lots of things, like in our society, how our country's run, government, everything. How we live our personal lives, what's important to us. Maybe work's not as important as we thought. Maybe the long commute isn't as important. All these things, it really helped. Almost every single person I talk to tells me this is really helped me. It helps remind me what's really important in life. And I love that. I'm not completely happy with everything going on right now for obvious reasons. I have anxiety over a lot of things, all this racial injustice, and the protests and the pandemic, this virus and flying. And, we have a trip planned to Austin, Texas at the beginning of September to go to our nephew's high school graduation party. And it's just so much anxiety right now. But one thing that's really kind of opened my eyes, is like priorities. What's important in my life? So I want to dive into this a little bit more and really encourage you to sit down and really think about your priorities. If you haven't, write them down. And I'll talk in a little bit about a process that I use to really focus on my priorities that I've learned through an online business school, just through educating myself, learning from mentors on how to prioritize what's important in my life. So, first of all, think about priorities as non-negotiables in your life. This is a question I ask every single person who tells me they want to either join a group health coaching program that I run, do individual one-on-one coaching, or even personal training. I always ask them, what are your top 3 priorities in your life? And I learned this from someone else who I admire, who is a very successful business owner, a former personal trainer. And he said once he started asking all his clients that, and it just changed everything. Because here's the thing. When you come to me and I want to get healthier, and I ask you what your top 3 priorities are in your life, and your health is not in your top 3 priorities, that shows me that first of all, your health really isn't important to you. You're just saying it for whatever reason. Maybe society says you should, maybe a friend or a family member is encouraging you to get healthy, but you're just not ready yet. You're not ready to make it a priority, and that's okay. This is why I ask people this, because it shows them and me that their health right now is not a priority. And I never, ever, ever, ever want anyone to spend money to invest financially or invest their time into my programs and services unless they really want it to work for them. Okay. And this is just so incredibly important. So that's why I asked that, because if I will be honest with you and tell you, hey, I honestly don't think you're ready. If you really truly feel like you are, then let's make health a priority in your life, and let's kind of rearrange some things. That I will do. So if someone is insistent on it, I'm more than happy to help them, kind of go through the process. So ask yourself right now, like, what are your top 3 priorities in your life? Mine are my health. Okay, sorry, I got hair on my lips. My health, my family, and helping women and anyone who comes to me who I feel is an appropriate fit for me, get healthier and improve their health, create healthier lifestyle habits through my business. That could be anything from these videos on YouTube, the cooking videos. I have some more videos in the works that will be up in the next probably couple weeks or so that I'll be starting to film this week. And I just want to help people. So those are my top 3 priorities in my life. Now, those are kind of blankets of priorities. So my health in that order too. They're in that order, okay? And I'll explain why family is not number 1 in a sec. But so health is eating whole, real, nutrient-dense foods, prioritizing that, really working on fitting cooking, making meals, homemade meals into my schedule for the week. And really moving my body every day, not just like physical hard workouts, but stretching my body, stretching my muscles, making sure I get adequate sleep, so my body and my mind are able to recover properly. And so you get the gist that it's health is the general, but those are the little sub priorities under the blanket of health. So number 2 is family. My husband is number 1. He's the most important person in my life, and for a very good reason. We have a great relationship. We're best friends, and we rely on each other a lot, and we're a huge support system for each other. And then, of course, my parents, my in-laws, siblings, both, in-laws, aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone. If someone called me, my cousin called me and said, hey, I really need your help right now. If it was an absolute emergency, I would drop everything and go help him or her, because family is really important to me. And so I put health before family, because if I'm not taking care of myself, I can't take care of my family. Okay? Do you see that? If I'm not taking care of my health and I'm, have all these diseases, I'm sluggish, I'm fatigued, I have brain fog, I have diabetes, I have a heart condition, I have all these things, I'm not well enough to actually truly take care of my family. My husband injured himself last weekend. He's okay, he's fine. It wasn't that big of a deal, but he did need last Saturday not this past Saturday, but the one before, just to rest and to move around a little bit. He hurt his ankles and his heels and bruised one of his toes really bad. But he really just needed a rest day. So I did a lot around the house. I cooked that day. Saturday's normally his night to cook. I cooked, I cleaned, I told him just walk around a little bit as much as you can, just to, get, keep your joints, working, but I'll just take care of everything. If I'm not feeling well, I can't take care of him when he gets sick. When I was really sick at the beginning of January, I had the flu so bad. Could have been the virus. I don't know. I was in bed for like 3 days. It was awful. I've not been that sick in over 10 years. That's what makes me think it was the virus. But anyways, I digress. But he took care of me. He cooked for me. He maybe even taking care of the laundry. I can't remember. Those 3 days were I was in a daze because I had a fever of 103. So I was like, kind of like in and out of it. But he took care of me. He got up in the middle of the night and would get wet, cold washcloths for me to help me get my fever down. He went to the store and got, some more natural cough syrup for me because I had a horrible cough. It was awful. Oh my gosh, it was terrible. He went and got, he did all this stuff for me. He made me tea and he just did all these things for me. But if he wasn't healthy, he wouldn't be able to take care of me. So you see why your health you should put yourself first. So, okay. And then of course, helping others, so my health, my family, and then helping others. Okay. And also when I'm healthy, when I'm taking care of myself and I'm taking care of my family, that's when I can take care of others. That's when I can put all the energy I have at that moment into my business, into making videos like this, into creating content, into coaching people. You guys, I just want to say I put a lot of thought and effort into these videos, into the content. I'm still working on leveling up and upping my game, and I'm getting better and better. My skills are improving, but I don't take any of this lightly. I don't just throw something together. Okay, so it takes energy and it takes time. But if I wasn't taking care of my health and my family, I wouldn't have the energy to take care of you guys. So, what else? Okay, I want to also share just a few more things before we wrap up this morning, but I want you to accept the fact that our priorities change temporarily. So it's really important to every 2 to 3 months revisit your priorities. Like, okay, maybe you hit a health goal. Like you had a health goal and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this. This is going to be my priority. I'm really going to focus on this goal. Or you have a project at work, or at home, a home project. We're building out a camper van. And that's our priority on the weekends. That's our priority. Every single day we talk about it. And that's our priority in our life right now. So that's what we're doing together as a family. But once that's done, once it's all built out and we're in it, we're living in it, it's going to be totally different. We're going to have to, okay, what's the next priority in our life? What do we want to do next? And sometimes our priorities can temporarily change for maybe not the better, but it's okay. For example, my husband has got me hooked on the show Alias. It's on Amazon Prime. We're halfway through season 3. There's 5 seasons. And I'm just obsessed with it. It's so good, especially season 3. So I'm just totally hooked on it. So we've been staying up later. So I haven't been putting that aspect of my health, making that as a priority. The priority at night has been, I want to watch Alias. I want to watch another episode, which is okay. It's okay. We're going to finish it and we're going to do a 30-day no TV challenge. So anyway, it's okay to do it. To just kind of, rearrange your priorities a little bit because you have to live your life. It can't just be really strict. You have to follow these rules all the time. No, that's not how I live my life. I'm very flexible with my life. I've learned to be flexible over the years. So how do you figure out your priorities? Ask yourself, sit down and write out your priorities. What is most important to you right now? Your health, your family, your faith? I get that a lot too. And I love that. Love that. when people say that. Because I feel like that's a really great, whether you're spiritual, you're Christian, it doesn't matter. If you want to put your faith as a priority, oh, I love that. Absolutely love that. So really sit down and think about that. And what can you do? Do you read your Bible every morning? Do you participate in a Bible study? What do you do to prioritize? How do you prioritize it? What activities do you do? That's a non-negotiable. You wake up every morning, you have a cup of coffee while you do your Bible study. I think that's great. Those are the things you need to focus on. Those help you grow, those make you happy, and they help you become a better person as well. So sit down and think about it, and then revisit it if you need to, every month, every week if you need to, and journal. Think about, am I still living my life within my priorities? Ask yourself that on a daily basis or a weekly basis, So, okay, so your challenge, sit down for 20 minutes and really think about your priorities. If you need to rearrange them, do that. If you need help, reach out to me. I'm here for you. I got your back. You could do this, and I'll see you guys soon. Cheers.